Listen to Noah's music, 'cause that's good music. I'm deeply disappointed. Okay, that's not better. We could do that. Because this last transaction of XYZ is 5.5S. 2030 was at 102. The bond is selling at. That's premium. Because 102 is higher than 100. Yeah. At issue, which of the following debt securities mature at bond? Okay, yeah, and then this way I'm even looking at it. At issue, which of the following debt securities mature in 1 year or less? It's the money market instruments. There's money market instruments out here. Fast and loose. Those wild, reckless elements of spending. Man. An investor owns 100 shares of XYZ common stock at current market price for $50 per share if XYZ conducts a 2-for-1 reverse stock split, which reverse stock split is just a merger. Like, it's the opposite of splitting stocks. The post-split stock position will be, well, if you had 100 shares, post-reverse stock split, you're going to have 50 shares at 100 per. Then, registered representatives are reviewing the following portfolio. You get 30% energy, 30% healthcare, 30% exchange ETFs, the tracks for the S&P 500, 10% of the money market. And the risks we can see are liquidity, because you're spread across. Like, energy is reliable, ETFs are ETFs. The money market funds are here and gone again. So I think the only thing we have to work with is, right, 'cause it's not political, assuming it's all domestic. Regular way settlement. See, that I have absolutely no idea. I feel like it's a skip a day for treasury bonds. Under federal rules, which of the following activities by a registered representative requires written notification to their firm? Volunteering, no. Gambling, no. Driving part-time, no. Selling proprietary investment securities products through their firm. How about doing the thing you're registered to do? There. The computation of dollar prices and accrued interest on municipal bonds, normally on a calendar basis. The actual over 360, which that's just how it be. Which of the following represents the effects of a stock split? So the price of the common stock will increase, common stock will decrease, each stockholders' portion of ownership decrease. They're just gonna drop the price. It's, I'm not entirely certain what they're looking for here. Because, I mean, yes, the proportion of ownership will decrease, but they also split all stocks currently in their portfolio, so not really. My mic is peaking, which is not great. Then the Roth 401k and Roth individual retirement account, both share which of the following features. The contributions are made pre-tax, neither account has maximum contribution limits, neither account is subject to early distribution penalties or qualified distributions. Yeah, it's only the qualified distributions that are excluded from tax. Then the married couple earned income that exceeded $300,000 each of the prior 2 years, and it's reasonably expected the same for the current year. That's what we call that, qualified institutional buyer? Because they ain't accredited by nothing. They aren't institutional, really, because they aren't with any institution. I feel like the term is qualified investor. Because they have income and they have a reasonable expectation of income in the future. And then, which of the following situations is an employee of a public company permitted to trade upon information without violating insider trader laws? Dang. No one makes very good music. No. Because that was the other song. Got it. Interesting. In any case, an employee of a public company is permitted to trade upon information without violating insider trader laws, but an independent securities and analyst explains to the employee why. No. If you hear it from your neighbor, it's not great either. Your spouse works over there, that's trading. Yeah. A coworker informs the employee of a conversation he had with the administrative assistant, his general counsel regarding key development. No. Yeah. It's all about that independent dude. If someone else says, yeah, this is what's going on. And broker-dealer ABC seeks to underwrite municipal securities offering by a local town, which the mayor is currently seeking re-election. A municipal finance professional who resides in the town works for ABC contributed $200 to the re-election campaign 13 months ago. If the employee wants to support the campaign further without impacting the municipal security business of the firm, is permitted to make an additional contribution of up to what amount? I'm trying to recall the limit because I feel like it's $300 is the cutoff. But even that sounds high, and if it's 13 months ago, I don't think that's. I feel like it's still within the limit. I'm trying to recall what the limit is, though. I feel like the limit's 300. It's the time of issuance, which of the following securities normally is the longest period to expiration. Sure. Oh, SoundCloud. There we go. Interesting. In any case, at the time of issuance, which of the following securities normally has the longest period of expiration? Rights, options, warrants, or repurchase agreements. Longest period of expiration. I feel like that's rights. Because they're all very similar. But, and a broker-dealer is permitted to accept payment for a new issue from the customer when the red herring is delivered. No. Registration's effective. So a broker-dealer charges a commission on securities transaction. They have acted as an agent, right? If they're charging a commission, yeah. Registered representative wants to participate in a private securities transaction, which of the following actions may RR take? They first meet with the supervisor, lay out the structure of the deal, call a supervisor, inform her of the deal, involvement. They can send a written notice to their supervisor outlining the activity. They can initiate the paperwork required by the policies of the firm once the activity has begun. Send written notice, right? Like you got a record. So a savings account backed by the FDIC. An associated person who is not a registered representative permitted to engage in which of the following activities. If they ain't a registered representative, you cannot accept unsolicited customer order. Can you provide account opening forms to no customer? I think so. Although, discuss the attributes of a particular investment product or pre-qualify prospective customers as an investment objectives. If you ain't no registered representative, you're gonna have a bad time. I feel like you ain't pre-qualifying anyone. You're definitely not going to be able to tell anyone about anything or accept an order. That's definitely not. So maybe just toss them the forms. Where's the cost basis of an inherited mutual fund? The inherited mutual funds are net asset value. UTMA accounts are open to the tax ID of the minor.
It's always getting into something. That's why we use new Tide Hygienic Clean.
God dang it, SoundCloud.
I went exploring.
You look like you were
What
in a
incarnation is
swamp.
this knowledge? I was prepared to lurk for a drawing
Now
stream.
I'm worried about what I can't see.
There are critters and
There's-
good and magical creatures.
Good thing Tide Hygienic.
Things more important than drawing. We unironically need to study for this exam, so I can go take this exam. So I can do something after Rona. Lurk or learn if you're so inclined. You could learn the blue sky laws regulated by which of the following entities. The blue sky laws are the state ones, which are an absolute mess. Upon expiration, all the money in S&P 100 index call options are settled by the delivery of which of the following. If you're... Oh, is that the new Pog? Neat. And Shrek's coming back. Shrek will be back someday. I wish I knew who the Pog champs were. Like, that needs to be somewhere. Why didn't you just cancel stream? Because I thought this would be a better idea. I don't know, I thought this would be a good idea for stream. Do you think it's not a good idea for stream? To get that knowledge? I mean, we could do something else, I guess, if you want. Like, I'm pretty sure I have Nair, so we could fire up that or any other real video game. But, when call options expire, I feel like you just get dicked over. So the redemption value of an open-ended investment company's shares based on the... You never heard of the SIE before. Yeah, that's the Security Industry Essentials. It's this cool certification program by FINRA. Nah, stream isn't limited to only video games. Good, I'm glad. Well, not this stream. Could be anything, at any time. So, ring-a-ling. And I did find that the Snap, you know, the people that make the Snapchat, also just have their filters available for PC use. So I kind of just want to use all those filters. Because I was looking at doing like a VTuber setup. It's like, how cool would that be? What if instead of me, it was a 3D rig of something else? Also, I have no idea what the redemption value of an open investment company shares is based off. I feel like offering price is computed. It's gotta be the net asset value computed after the order is received. Now how do I save you from the void? Oh, you can't. I took off a lot of those redemptions. Cause I'm like, wait a minute. We don't even need those. Use those. Like, no one clicks on them. Why are they there? So I just took them out. I feel like I need to update the colors on some of them still. And, like, why don't I have a chair picture on the chair spin? Or I could have, like, my mic on the ASMR. I'm fixing up the branding a little bit. Streaming as the animation isn't me? Well, I mean, I'd also be the animation. Right? Like, it's never not me. It's 2 quarters to be a recession. Right? With, Anna Maze, made by Face Rig. I, would probably just use the Red Panda logo until we eventually figure out how to make a better one with Blender. Because now they allow just anything to be imported, so that's, good. I don't know. I think VTubing looks cool. That, and that would allow me to, effectively have additional me's. I mean, I suppose if you want, you could try to disappear till eventually the VODs no longer show a red Thor. I don't know. The VODs are eternal. I, stuck them all up on the website yesterday? Or maybe the day before. But there's 200 VODs now. It's, crazy how long we've been doing this. Just like it's crazy how under normal circumstances, a customer's letter of intent on mutual fund purchase is value for 13 months. Who knows why? This cog face gets phased out of existence. I don't know. Blip in and out. Worry not, my face is still here. I mostly just want to use the Snapchat filter because it has the anime filter, so it could just be anime, and that's good. Like, which of the following options violates FINRA's rules regarding selling away? Yeah. Oh no. Can't get rid of this face that easily, no matter how hard you try. Right, if you tell them to go use someone else, it's selling away. I haven't seen too many VTuber stuff, so I won't judge it much yet. All of it's neat. And which is the only investment risk is greatest risk. A variable life insurance policy. The inflation risk, you're not going to die immediately. I like it because it allows for a essentially virtual me, which can be replicated an infinite number of times. It could theoretically be handled by anyone, not just me. With absolutely no difference on the other side. Like we could put out Church of the Chime stuff 24/7. Just be the one. Okay, what the psychological pros and cons would be of making a VTuber persona? I mean, it's effectively just a sovereign persona, but instead of using me on camera, you would be seeing something else on camera. And then you'd have to associate that with the sovereign. Or any other fake internet persona that I happen to make along the way. Will probably lead to a handful of psychotic breaks and identity crises as we go, but who am I really underneath it all? Which of the following statements is true regarding the concept of a annuity contract?
And I'll have a 10-piece chicken McNuggets. And 2 sides of ranch, please.
We've
I
done
ain't
this
buying
before.
McDonald's.
Get it at McDonald's when you get 2 of your faves
Also-
for just $6.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Single item regular
Yeah.
price.
Hey listeners,
Which of the following statements is true regarding the concept of an annuity contract? So the payouts is an investment in non-qualified annuity of all
for
income
50
tax
years.
free.
National University
I don't know
has
if that's quite
pioneered
true.
achievable higher education. Today, NU offers over
Some Bob
75
Ross, yeah.
100% online
'Cause I did
degree programs
add
and flexible 4-week class schedules that let you start sooner
these.
and finish faster. National University. Classes start monthly.
How do you
Apply
like
for your
them
scholarship
apples?
today at nu.edu.
Which of the following concepts? So the kind of annuity selected partly determines the payment amounts to the annuitant. Yes. And in the case of life annuity contracts, the age and sex of the annuitant do not affect the payout amounts. God, I hope so. And the amounts of the periodic payments to the annuitant are determined by the performance of the insurance company's investment returns. I hope not. If it's an unqualified annuity, it's got to be interest free, right? What else could it mean? Okay, and call protection is most valuable to a bond owner when bond prices are right. I say it's most valuable when they're fluctuating, but it's not necessarily true. If the bond prices are falling, then it's going to be better. Because if they're right. In the event of a stock split, which of the following parties is required to maintain a record of the shareholders eligible to receive the additional shares? It's the issuer. To get wrecked. Then, which of the following security types provides investors with a stated maturity date, floating interest rate, and an option to put the security bank and the financial intermediary on a daily or weekly basis? The equity put option. I actually get put and call. Call is buy, so put is sell. No. Yeah. Call is buy, so put is sell. So an equity put option. Maybe. Perpetual preferred stock. The preferred stock is you'll first chance first grabs that. The variable range. So some general streams can be seen in part as content and audio, content with audio and cam, or content with audio and animated self IDK. IDK is right, miss. The heck are you on about? Are you trying to break down all the streams that exist categorically? Because like some of them, the people use Basecamp, some of them they don't, some of them are just straight VTubers, and then occasionally the content matters. But I feel like a lot of the times it's not content that matters, it's just the audio. Like, there's definitely some video essays where the video essayists have recently adopted the podcast format, because like all their meaningful content is just in what they say. I'd like to believe that we're not that sort of content, but I have absolutely no idea. Cool. In any case, I feel like this mic is off. I don't know why. Alright, that's better. The variable rate demand note? I've never heard of that before in my life. Or the tax deferred value variable annuity. That would have a maturity date. I don't know if it's variable, so I assume that means the floating interest rate and the option puts the security back. Sure. There could be a loss of personality from the transition, is what I'm wondering about. Oh, potentially. It's not a lossless transition, but in any sense of the word. Like we could... So we definitely lose some expression, but it's not like my own genuine human face plastered on everything. We'll see if it's positive, negative, or neutral. Because it could be something greater than a human face, something idealized. But then again, one could argue webcam has limitations. The animations could add more personality, maybe. Potentially. Like, it's the unlimited potential of just straight computer graphics, as opposed to the couple dozen muscles in my face. Like, everything we'll try it and see. We'll just try it and see. Like how we tried things under the Security Act of 1933, where registration is required for which of the following securities. And it's... right. Under the Securities Act of 1933, that's the securities issued by the federal government. Maybe every medium has limitations at some point, and the work of the artist is to work within them, to press those boundaries, to truly indulge their audience. Like a wise game designer once said that limitations breed creativity. So by the fact that I am but a person with a camera, transhumanism, IRL VTubers online, well, I do like transhumanism, which is a driving factor in me wanting to try VTubing. I also have a live feed on the bitrate, so that's new, that's nice. I should probably have this in the Discord stream too, so that's like perpetually going, because I'd like to keep the two platforms in sync. But you know how that goes. Oh, come on, man. I'm grappling with the idea of what it even means to be human at the moment. Nothing. It means absolutely nothing to be human. Ooh. You know what it means to offer shareholders a privilege to obtain its shares at a fixed price? Which of the following products contains a corporation issue? To obtain the shares is going to be a right. Because I know the Always Ahead of the Times program, Star Trek, had a difference between human and person, where person is all sapient beings. And I think that's pretty neat. As far as the transhumanism stuff, we're en route. Because you end up under FIN rules, non-cash Non-cash compensation. It's everything except commission. Commission is cash. Rates is an answer. Look, rates is a real thing, not just weird financial jargon. I'm glad you enjoy it. In a period of low inflation, economic recession, the Federal Reserve is expected to take which of the following actions? What's the thing? Oh yeah, Neuralink. Neuralink opens a dangerous precedent where it's like a phone but latched onto your brain, where it bypasses the sensory organs entirely. And that's kind of spooky. But that's where we're going. We can't pretend that we're not going that way. Right. So in a period of low inflation, economic recession, the Federal Reserve, they decrease taxes that increases the money supply. They raise the federal funds rate that'll decrease the money supply. They buy bonds in the open market that will effectively increase the money supply. If they require the banks to increase reserve, that's going to restrict things again. I'm pretty sure the Federal Reserve just picks up some bonds and goes to town. And the customer is an officer of the company that's involved in some changes. All the following items contain some corporate affairs to inside information and the customer shares them. The British representative said their pending transactions, declared stock dividends, the top management changes, the eminent financial liquidity problems. You can say about pending transactions because those are already going on. People know about them. And the primary purpose a syndicate does in contracts for equity offering is to from the company management of the roadshow. The syndicate desk just sort of does everything. Under Rule 144A, an issuer of restricted stocks permitted to sell which of the following investors: to the financial institutions, private investors. Here. You know what sounds like a good idea? Gonna do the dank DRB? Alright, goodbye forever, mist. Properties? Lower the music? Gotcha. I don't know. I can barely hear this song. Because as soon as you say that, the next song is absolutely dead silent. How much do I have to zoom this in? Zoop, 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 zoop. There's that still audible for everyone involved. Yep, it'll be fine, possibly. I do that dank lurking you do. Fit transform, fit to screen. What if we add a color source? slab. Oh, man. Oh, 708090. There we are. Alright, it's under Rule 144A, an issuer of restricted stocks. Now it's back. Now it's back. Interesting. Now well. So under Rule 144A, an issuer of restricted stocks permitted to sell to which of the following investors? Those qualified institutional buyers. If a market maker posts a quote of 10 to 10.10, 25 by 10, which the following actions is the market maker willing to take? Oh. I have absolutely no idea why. It's 25, 10, 25 and 10. I feel like it's that. I don't know why it'd be times 100. It is Z. So if a company announces a tender offer to its shareholders with the intent to buy a maximum of 100 million shares, now that you're gone, you can do this just to make you feel better. Actually, I can't see. So if a company announces a tender offer to its shareholders for the intent to buy a maximum of 100 million, thanks. Shares of its outstanding stock at $10 per share, it sets no minimum amount of shares for purchase. Investor must participate in this offer. Tenders his 1,000 share position. To close the offer position, only 900,000 shares have been tendered. How many, if any, of the investor's shares will become to purchase? Intent to buy max of 1 million. Sets the max and sets no minimum. If there's no minimum, they'll do it. If they want to sell 1,000 and they haven't reached the max, they haven't gone into the min, then yeah, I'll take all 1,000. So a member of the stock exchange, responsible for providing liquidity in the market. Yeah, it's the market maker that just buys and sells. Which of the following statements is true regarding a customer account that helps tenants in common? Because tenants in common is supposed to be for married couples, but I'm pretty sure it's permitted for use for 2 individuals. We'll find out in the future. Interesting. In any case, the SEC regulation SP, consumer privacy, which the following information must the firm include in its customer privacy. Opt-out notices. You have to tell them when to opt out. Under industry regulations, an initial purchase of $3,000 of common stock in a margin account requires a cash deposit. It's half. You can't operate on the margins no matter how much you'd like to. exposed to inflationary risk. The blue chip industrials. Registered representative wants to take place in a mutual fund advertisement. Must obtain written approval from each of the following parties. FINRA, each state's securities administrator, registered principal of the registered representative's firm, or investment management division of the appropriate regional SEC office. You just talk to the guy in the office. And if they announces 20% stock dividend for its common shareholders, if a customer holds 1,000 shares of $50, they just get their dividend. And the stocks are worth a little less because there's no dividend coming up. So the call provision of a bond stipulates which of the following factors: call date, call price. God, I hope that's right. And then in the over-the-counter market, the term spread refers to the difference between the opening and closing prices. When selling a fixed amount of base currency to purchase a counter currency, which of the following factors primarily used to determine how much the counter currency the user will receive. That's that spot exchange rate. And which of the following actions is required when a firm receives cash in excess of $10,000? Yeah, that's that currency transaction report. Which of the following comparisons best describes the essential difference between primary distribution and secondary distribution? The primary distribution is where you get them from the guy in the first place. Which of the following statements is true? Treasury stock. Treasury stock does not have voting right, does not receive dividends. It's issued stock. It's subsequently been reacquired by the corporation. Since stock buybacks. But a no-load mutual fund may have lower expense ratios than load mutual funds for each of the following regions. Because the no loads do not charge. Because I feel like it's actually that. They can't charge more than a reasonable amount. And they say that there's no charge. Interesting. Oh, so that's that would explain it. In any case, which of the following investments are typically traded according to their average life rather than their stated maturity dates? Oh, it's those government bonds. So those are pretty dang secure. Then all the following risks apply both foreign and domestic, except political. Oh. Now it's exchange. And under the Federal Reserve Regulation T, any of the restrictions imposed when the customer open and closes, that's with margin accounts. You can't be operating on margins. When is the interest on the treasury notes paid? Quarterly? Right? Usually treasury notes are paid quarterly. A firm is a participant in a public offering to sell a substantial amount of securities to its customers. The firm agrees to repurchase the shares at no less than the original sales price. Such agreements are prohibited. It's fraudulent and manipulative. Which of the following actions is required of broker-dealers? Anti-money laundering program. You just have to say that you have one. Under the system of statutory voting, a common stockholder has as many votes for each vacancy of the board of directors as the number of shares. Positions vacant on the board. Which of the following outcomes are possible for the writer of a covered call option? Covered. The loss is limited, as it were. This coverage just means it's already gone through, I'm pretty sure. If not, we'll find out shortly. Saying a direct participation program provides liquidity and transparency. Yeah. Exposure to non-correlated assets with steady returns. I'm trying to recall, but I'm pretty sure DPPs are like a utility thing, which are pretty good because there's not a whole lot that could go wrong with them. Like, it's not like people are gonna stop buying electricity. Exposure to non-correlated assets with steady returns. No, maybe. Market-related correlations with higher average returns, or investors with direct purchase of stock. Make sure it's the liquidity. I don't know. So, FinCEN accomplishes its mission to safeguard the financial system from the abuses of federal financial crime, including terrorist financing, money laundering, by enforcing I'm sure FinCEN uses the SEC regulations, right? Right. And then stability, the value of a debt portfolio is greatest when so you want to buy debt. When interest rates are debt portfolio is going to be opposite investment portfolio. And you want to invest in investments when the interest rates are low, so you want to invest in debt when the interest rates are rising. I think that's enough backwards. A customer buys one ABC on chain 35 put for a premium of $3 and simultaneously buys 100 shares of ABC stock for $35 per share. Customer will break even when the stock is selling at what price? Per expiration. $38, because then you have to cover your premium. So which of the following responses describes an average? Which of the following responses describes an advantage of index funds? Protection principle over bearish markets, the high turnover, take advantage of market opportunities, the high management fees. Index funds are pretty low management, you just chill. Which of the following stakeholders is first claim priority in a Chapter 11 proceeding? It's first the equity holders. First it's the people that have things. Then it's the people that have things if things go down. Then it's the people that don't really have things. Then the administrative claim holders, I don't know how those factor in. So if a customer has a cash balance in their account, together with long positions in several securities, they made no securities transactions to the account during the past. I'm pretty sure it's a quarterly thing. So which of the following products is adversely impacted if the issuer's credit rating is downgraded. I feel like it's ETS, but I don't know why. Transactions, which are true. They cover position of purchasing an option. That's the closing purchase. No, opening purchase. I feel like opening purchases aren't a thing. It's a closing purchase to cover the option. Get out of there. Alright, which of the following considerations should be registered? Which of the following considerations should a registered representative explain to a customer when recommending a 529 college savings plan? The rights of the account beneficiary, the assets of the age majority. Whatever you put in there for your kid goes to the kid. Which of the following form U4 reportable events results in statutory disqualification? The issue is all of these. But which one goes on the U4? I'm pretty sure it's personal bankruptcy. Alright, so which of the following communications is the public considered misleading? Historical illustrations backed on factual performance. This sounds pretty good. Product comparisons that illustrate material differences. Sounds great. Research report that includes buy recommendations. That's where you get into issues. Literature providing. Yeah. That's when you say this. The market's doing great. Buy this. That's when you run into issues. And then which of the following statements is true about all U.S. government agency issues? They are not exempt. They are not exempt from the Securities Act of 1933. They're issued in bearer form only. They are general obligations of the federal government. Yeah. Yeah. I know it was selling at a premium because it's over the 100. Alright. And the money market instruments are the short durations. Right, if they do a 2-for-1 reverse stock split, you take your 100 shares and crunch them down to 50 shares. Alright. Non-systemic risk in that portfolio. I don't quite get it. But if that's what they say, that's how it be. Alright, and then, yeah. Because treasury bonds are settled the day after next. Which is pretty messed up. That's how it be. Interesting. You need a written notification for your firm if you're driving Uber. Fair, because then you're working for someone else. So if you prop them up, you're propping yourself up at that second job. Interesting. It's 30 over 360. I thought it was actual. Nope. I guess municipal bonds just don't ignore. Just straight up ignore time. And then shoot. Right. Stock split drops the prices. Dang. qualified distributions excluded from federal income tax. Right, you don't pay income tax on things that go into 401s or IRAs. Then there are accredited investors by having money. Sure. Yep. It's not insider trading if someone else says that's how it be. They seek to underwrite municipal securities. It's only 150 because the limit's 250, not 300. Here. Where did I sit up here? I don't recall the difference between a warrant and a rate. I guess they have the longest expiration. Warrants just stick around. And then broker-dealer is permitted to accept payment for the new issue of the new customer when the registration is effective. Red herring is delivered. It's actually a red herring, I tell you what. When a broker-dealer charges a commission on a securities transaction, they've acted as an agent. A registered representative wants to participate in private securities transactions. Which of the following actions must the registered representative take? They send a written notice. The FDIC ensures. Yep. And an associated person who is not the registered representative is permitted to engage by. They can just pass you some papers. That's about it. And then what's the cost basis of the inherited mutual fund? It's inherited based on the net asset values when they're dead. Don't know why, that's just how it be. Yeah, UTMA accounts are open under the tax ID of the minor. The blue sky laws are regulated by which spelling entities, those are the state laws. Weird. Oh, in the money. Gotcha. In the money, S&P 100 index call options are settled through cash. 'Cause that's what the in the money ones are. Got it. Right, and redemption of value of an open-ended investment companies. Weird. I don't know, I'm mostly curious about things like let's authorize the Twitch inspector so I can see. Neat. That's cool. Not right. In any case, the redemption value of an open-ended investment company shares based on the net asset value computed after the order is received. It's kind of messed up. It's 2 quarters for recession, 13 months. With the mutual fund purchase. Which of the following actions violates FINRA's rules regarding selling away? If you... oh. Sure. Without written prior consent. And which of the following investment risks? It's the greatest risk. Market risk, yeah. If the market goes under. If the market goes under, you're just out of it. Weird. I thought inflation over time, but market because it's a variable. Yeah. And then, which of the following statements is true? You should be on night. Which of the yeah, non-qualified annuity are not going to be income tax free if it's non-qualified. Okay, so call protection is valuable when the bond prices are rising. Sure. It's a transfer agent that handles stock splits. Of course. The variable rate demand note. Interesting. Then, sure. ADRs are backed under the Securities Act of 1933. Rights was right. If commission is the not a non-cash reward. The commission is notably the cash reward. You can, yeah. When it's in recession, the government buys bonds. Interesting. Oh, right. Just the declared stock dividend. The thing that's already been declared. See, if they're pending transactions, it could technically not be known about. So the primary purpose of a syndicate desk is build an order book and allocate the stock. D, I'm still studying. Yeah. There's a lot of things to know. You'll be happy to know that rights was the right choice. That's a couple of things. Yeah. 33. I don't know. What do you want from me? I could pull up Blender. I think I have that installed on this rig. Go play Nair. Any of those normie games. But under rule, no, there's people with dogs outside. Under rule 144A, an issuer of restricted stocks permitted to sell to qualified institutional buyers. And if the market posts a quote of whatever that is, I don't know why. It means they're willing to buy 2,500 shares at $10 and sell them 1,000 shares at 10.10. Want information? The information you shall have. Because now these are even the right answers. Just not just me randomly guessing and assuming we're right, but actually. Because the market makers are the ones that are constantly buying and selling. Those are the guys that make the world go round. Interesting. Tenants in common applies to will things. Alright, and then so under SEC regulations, SP, consumer privacy, which the following information must be included to its customer privacy and opt-out notices. It's the policies to protect the security of non-public information. Of course. What type of animated VTuber animation did you have in mind? And can it not be a cute anime girl? Your question has been considered and promptly denied. I'll probably... Here. I'll do... I think that's a lie. I don't think I can pull up animes right now. Actually, last I knew it was Windows exclusive. Unless... we can try running it in Proton. We can try running in Proton and see all what we have access to. It could be anything, especially a cute anime girl. Oh, come on, fire up, would you? It's the say in the motherland, fire up chips. And means property. I think you mentioned it before. Yeah. I mean, ideally that's how it'd go. We'll try firing up animes right now and see what it does. It would require the lights to come back on, because if it happens we're drifting out. At the very least, like 50%. Cute anime girl's kind of nerdy though. I mean, you could get the bonk. I mean, yeah, but think of the opportunity. Like the opportunity to oh, right. You have to be over 50%. Can't be exact. Miss, let this be a lesson to you. If you ever think you can operate on the margins, you can't. Finra will crack down on you and say, wait a minute, you're not paying for things with money. You're just paying for things with the idea of other things. And that sort of speculation will tear down the market. Oh, sure. I suppose treasury bonds are much exposed to inflationary risks. They are very long. It ain't changing a bit. Send registered representative who wants to place a mutual fund advertisement. Yeah, you have to talk to the person at the firm in charge of that. Why would there be more shares after the dividend? What opportunity? I have absolutely no idea. It's been too long. I was thinking of animation sorta. This, but not this. I can make no promises about that. Mysterious cloaked non-cult sovereign. Missed, it's a cult. A cult with a cult. Like the OCCULT. So that's not launching, which isn't great. Properties. Compatibility. Try the old Proton then. Yeah. I suppose it's also mysterious because they have fabric over all their flesh except for the claw. It's something. I don't know. Oh no, that's for you. No. Oh no. Oh no. No. Why don't they have words? Oh. You know, like, I thought I named it Dun or something. Are you going to use your own voice behind the persona? Probably. Unless I could enlist someone else's voice. But it's not to say that we couldn't use like filters and voice modulators to be like something besides my own standard voice enunciations. Although that has its own charm. I mean, definitely not going the way of Cosnumer, where they just use text to speak, because that's a little bit much. The bond provision. The call provision of the bond stipulates the call price and the call date. I knew it. I did know it. Right, because the spot exchange rates when you're working with different currencies. And which of the following actions is required when a firm receives cash in excess of 10K? You need that currency transaction report. D&D will be the only place of COG standard voice left. Until we start streaming the D&D. Put that campaign right up there on twitch.tv/lightningcog. I don't know, maybe. Streaming it would force me to put effort into it and make it a good stream, as opposed to questionable preparation habits. In any case, which of the following comparisons best describes the essential difference between a primary distribution and secondary distribution? Because the primary distribution is where it comes from them directly the first time, as opposed to secondary where it's just whoever. And then which of the following statements is true about treasury stock? Let me stop you right there. You got a lot of nerve coming in here. D&D is off limits. Alright. That's what they say. D&D is never off limits. Anything can be monetized. No. Oh no. Hype Tiger? That's not Pog. I don't even have Hyper Tiger, do I? Where did that come from? Where did that go? Can I... God dang it. Oh. That's awful. Let's not do that. It's one of the Hyperscape ones? I may actually have that then. I wouldn't say Hyperscape when you wanted to see where it was from. Yeah. I have that. We have all the emotes forever. Okay, so treasury stock is the stuff that's been bought up again. SGT Pog. Excuse me. SGT Bake Pog? I feel like it's capital P. Haha, it is a capital P. That's not even with the emote checker. That's just me writing it out with my own two hands. Pingus. You want might. Right, because the no-load funds are not permitted to charge 12B1 fee. Mama Ouija. If I had more emote slots. Okay. And I would have more emote slots if we get more bits. Like, that's how I was able to add the nerve and the below. Because these are... shoot. Wherever they may be. Imagine having bits. Well, you wouldn't have them. You donate them to the Church of the Chime, like you have very recently in the past. Like, you here, so I'll put that back up for you. Weird that it doesn't do sound right now, but you know that the it's asset-backed securities, because they have assets attached to them. That makes sense. And then, which is the following risk applied both foreign and domestic?
We don't have the right to demand demonstrations from God for our entertainment.
All right.
And that's what they want.
And that's what they want.
They've seen the withered hand stretched out. They've seen a mute man who is blind see.
Right, because there's no exchange if you're doing it all domestically. And then,
Those words were redemptive demonstrations of power.
so the same stock in a cash account without paying for the stock in full. Interesting. You could do it in a margin. As long as you pay for it in full, you're fine. So it's that Regulation T is the one that cracks down on operating on the margins. Where operating on the margins means you pay for things with things that are not money. TBH, the idea of YouTuber sounds weird to me. I haven't really seen content of it though. I think I once saw an anime girl with the deep-ass guy's voice in the background. I was confused at first. Is that not what you want in this world? Why isn't everyone just an anime cat girl? Right, Alice? 'Cause it'd be like that, heck. Who's that? What's the name of the guy that had a big god thing? There was an animation with motion capture. 'Cause it could be that, but, you know, less on the nose. It doesn't necessarily need to be an anime girl. Dude, trigger notes are only paid semi-annually. I can see how that maybe. I can see how that scenario as an introduction may be off-putting. The performance participant in a public offering to sell a substantial amount of the securities to its customers. The firm agrees to repurchase the shares at no less than the original shares price. That's fraudulent and manipulative. Right, you have to designate finance officer. That's, I feel dumb, of course. It's the standard statutory voting, which means that as a July time, it's two cat girls are in hentai, which is almost never, so it would be an odd transition. Yep. Time to normalize more furry shit. So, and statutory voting works on the sweet principle that stocks are a portion of the company that you own. So when they make decisions and there's people not on board, if you have that many stocks, you have that many votes. Right. And if it's a covered call option, it's limited because it's covered. So then all liquidity transparency. No. It's exposure to non-correlated assets with state returns. VPPs are godsend. It's all gray. Life is full of gray areas. It's true. The only absolute is that there's no absolutes. Gray areas all the way down. Always has been. Okay. Snap this back. That's close. That's dangerously close.
There's a peacefulness as I sleep on this. When I wake up
Okay.
with my makeup and my cheeks so messed. The nightmares seem tame.
Scroll all the way down. It's the Bank Secrecy Act that cracks down on things that should not be going on. And stability and value of the debt portfolio is great. That's official. Sure. It's premium at $3 with reasons beyond comprehension. Index funds, you can have less people managing it. 'Cause index funds are where you take a chunk of all the big companies in the market, and you're just like, yeah, all of them can't possibly fail. Interesting. Secured debt holders of sure. Secured debt holders get access before the equity holders. And it's quarterly. If they ain't doing nothing, you still have to keep an eye on them. And there's the exchange traded. No, it's not the exchange traded bonds. Different for reasons I don't comprehend. I've had off a few minutes than 10 times, so cool. We'll be here for, I don't know, maybe like 6. You can lurk for those sweet raid tithings. But I think this is, I don't know, we might just stop after this. Nah, we'll make another run through the 75 questions. I do need to study. Lurk for tithes? Yeah. You stay in on that raid, you can have additional channel points. Right. Recover position by purchasing an option. That's the closing purchase. Like, that's just what it is. You make a purchase, it's a purchase. Right. When you pay attention to your 529 college savings plans, they have to tell you about the contributions from state taxes. If you have a kid you want to send to college, give them a 529 college savings plan. It's good stuff. Alright, oh, that's pretty. I know. Talking to kids about the antenatalist, but talking to the antenatalist about kids. You know, there's a chance. Or you can adopt in 10 years. Oh no. I don't know why the felony DUI charge is what matters though. I don't know why some of these things work the way they do. Alright. I'll let you eat food while I run through this again for my newly acquired knowledge that I hope they don't forget. Because some of the questions are not the same, and I just need to know them all, unfortunately. You need this certification to do banking things. So, it's got a stated maturity date, a floating interest rate, an option for security back. That's that. The variable rate demand, no. It's at 102, it's selling at a premium. Food isn't ready yet. And then the transaction, which write or cover the position. Purchasing option, that's the closing purchase for who knows why. Purchase is a purchase is a purchase. Under statutory voting, common stockholder has many votes equal to their shares. Which one of the following best describes the essential difference? The primary is the person that sells them outright. FDIC, banks that bank accounts. You need to designate AML compliance officer. Who's most exposed to inflationary risk? It's the treasury bonds. So its bonds are hella long. Like treasury bonds last forever. Forever? They're accredited investors, not qualified investors, because they have credit. Because the married couple is pulling in $300K for each year, for each of the previous years. If they're doing it again this year, they got credit for days. Now, if a call provision, bond stipulates which of the following factors. So the call provision tells you the call date, the call price, and then which of the following risk applies both foreign and domestic except. There's no exchange if you do it all domestic. Then Rule 144A, the issuer of restricted stocks permitted to sell which of the following investors. You can sell to qualified institutional buyers, which is weird because that term has a very vague interpretation. Blue skies are the state laws. At the time of insurance, the long securities can last the longest period of expiration. The warrants. They just do. Like, all three of these are effectively the same thing, and like even that. But warrants are longer than the rest, and this wants me to stretch. I'll stretch. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, child. I'll stretch. Move. Keep that back straight, because I know how much you like straight backs. Yeah. Stretch out the leg. These hamstrings are not going to stretch themselves. Much like the which of the following actions violates FINRA rules regarding selling away. It's the not hack. It's the engaging in private security transactions without the written prior consent of your employing BG. If you're like, you should buy these from me. Okay, here you go. No. When I say from me, I mean not on a clock. Like, oh, that's illegal. Right? And those 25 by 10 numbers multiplied by 100 for reasons I cannot tell you. But it means they're gonna buy at $10 and sell at 10.10, because that's not the spread. You sell treasury bonds on the second business day because you skip a day. I have the foggiest ideas why you skip a day with the treasury bonds. Then FinCEN accomplished its mission to safeguard financial system from abuse of the clever plan, including terrorist financing and money laundering by enforcing the Bank Secrecy Act is what it is. The banks be secret, but not to the government. And then the protection of principally repairs markets. Index funds are the ones that just chill. They don't cost a whole lot because there's nobody thinking about them. You just say that time in the market beats timing the market. The cost basis of inherited mutual fund, it's based on the net asset value straight when they die. That's that. It's money market instruments like FNMA and GNMA bonds. Those will take years. But money market instruments are fast as fuck, boy. DPP allows you those steady returns. And then municipal bonds are calculated 30 over 360. They don't care what time is. They got math to worry about. The limit's 250 on local election contributions. So if you see any broker dealer out there just shoveling money, you better tell them no more than $250. That's the limit. No-load mutual funds have a lower expense ratio, so no-loads can't charge a fee greater than 25 basis points. Then, under the Securities Act of 1933, registration is required for its American Depository Receipts. Then, which of the following communications with the public is considered misleading? True, the literature providing a 10-year performance information to support predictions of future performance. If you go here, look at what it's done for 10 years. So it'll probably be good in the future. That's dangerous if you don't look at what's actually going on. Like, look at what it did in the 70s. The 70s were a very different time. Which of the following investment risks is the greatest risk? A variable life policy. It's the market risk. Because if you die when the market's down, you're more dead than usual. And then, takes 2 quarters to make a recession. Imagine dying. Please. Kill me. That's probably not a good take when, like, what was it? 4,000 people died yesterday from COVID? It's not a joke. Are you going through a sad phase? A little more than usual. A little more than usual. Can you tell when I put the depression into my creative works? Like, if I just make things, my brain will give me the serotonin and I'll feel happy. That's not true. The memes have given some insight, yes. I always post depression memes. That's not new. What's the... Oh, I really like the pancake one. I was like, oh, eating pancakes again. I always eat pancakes when I'm in a bad mood. You eat pancakes every day. I'm always in a bad mood. Those memes don't come often. Yep. Thank you for your generous tithings to the Church of the Chime. I don't know. I did get ice cream from the food bank, so that's going to be the highlight of the remainder of today. Much like a customer is an officer. A customer is an officer of a company involved in some significant changes. All the following. Declared stock dividend is not insider trading. It's already declared. And then, an associate person who is not a registered representative is permitted to... Yeah, if you're not a registered representative, you can be like, here, these are the paperwork. I'll pass them off to someone that can do things. I suppose you'll be happy to know that I dropped out a lot of Discord servers. That's new. Have you found a new and cheaper place to move yet? Not yet. I probably won't worry about that till like summer. Because my lease isn't up until July? August? July. I feel like it's July. Decluttering can help even with Discord. Yeah. That's the downside of that minimalist lifestyle, where you just toss everything out except for what you absolutely need. Like, but what can I get rid of now? Not. as much as I would like to leave this place, I'm not looking forward to moving Louis again. Or the shrimp. I can't wait to live someplace where you don't have the AC on in the winter. That'd be great. Love it. We love to see it. Much like you'd love to see much like you love to see quarterly interactions with customers, even if they don't do anything. Just every quarter, send them a note like, "Hey, we have your money." Imagine Texas winter still feels pretty chilly. I mean, we had snow today. That's good. It's even still kind of white out yet. When the registration's effective, you can do things. Snow in Texas. I say, boy, I say, what in Sam Hill? We had snow in Texas. That weather ain't right. Cat just ran in. What? Weird. What is it? Oh man. The volume's too low. Oh well. Under FINRA rules, you better say something for driving to Uber. If you're driving for Uber, you have to tell your boss. Otherwise, it looks really suspicious. So roommate is keeping AC on excessively and price goes up probably from that. Yes. The energy costs are absurd because of the AC running. I'm like, what the heck, man? What do you want me to do? Kick him out into the snowbanks? It's already melted. Under FINRA rules, commissions are not non-cash. Non-systematic. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't know why. Which of the following represents the effect of a stock split? The price for each share is going to drop if you split them. I wonder if there's a way to match with roommates in an area, an app or something. Yeah, there's a couple different functions that do that. I saw a lot of them when I was at Sweet undergrad, and I know the apartment complexes are privy to software similar to that. You click the little questionnaire like, do you smoke? We're gonna put you with other smokers. Are you up late? We'll put you with other people that are up late. Do you drink excessively? We'll make your own alcoholics refuge. Right. Nice. It's 2 cakes, can't operate on margins. Bid and ask prices, it's a spread. Market makers make the market. And if you have a felony conviction for a DUI charge, that's a U4 reportable event. If it results in statutory disqualification, if a broker-dealer charges commission on securities action, they're acting as an agent. In a period of low inflation, economic recession, they're expected to buy bonds on the open market. And the primary purpose of the syndicate desk is to build an order book and allocate the stock. Which of the following outcomes are possible for the writer of a covered call option? The profit limited, but also loss limited. And in the event of a stock split, which of the following parties? Does the food bank provide you with some relatively healthy meals or items? They are surprisingly good about fresh produce and all that good stuff. We got a lot of frozen whole chickens, which you can roast up and go to town with. Like, that's good stuff. Usually carrots, celery, oranges, apples, bread. Hook us up with bread, a gallon of milk, a dozen eggs. Like, plenty of stuff to last 2 weeks. Usually a bag of tortilla chips, a couple of potatoes, usually a head of cabbage, which I'm like, sure, why not? I'll eat that stuff. For Thanksgiving and Christmas, they gave us a spiral sliced ham. Hey, it's good they give that stuff. Fruit and veggies is a good addition. Yeah. In addition to rice and beans, ramen, them cheap staples. They've had for stock split. Spiral sliced ham. Sounds fancy. I mean, it is, because it's like cured ham. That good pre-cooked stuff. I just had the last of the Christmas one in a bunch of beans. Boil it right up. That was some good eatins. So it lasted for what, a month? And in the event of a stock split, it's a transfer agent that keeps track of all that. Like, unironically, if I had to buy everything the food bank gives me at retail price, it'd be like $50 easy. Like, it is crazy what they're able to afford by purchasing in bulk. And it's to secure debt holders to get the first grabs. And then Regulation T says, hey, if you're gonna close something on the same day, you can't pay for it on the margin. Concept of an annuity contract. It's the kind of annuity selected partly determines payment amounts of the annuitant. Wow. Bulk buying comes in handy. It's true. And it's not like they get bad stuff either. Cogs need to hit that finance market, get that good money. Cash money. Yeah. Because I'd like to. Oh god, would I like to get in on the customer support lines over at heck's their name, Charles Schwab. We got a phone interview with them before. They're like, hey, here's a 42K salary. We'll pay for your studies. All you have to do is talk to people, call in and say, here, and this is what you do. Like, golly gee, that sounds incredible. And a living wage. But, you know, like, nah man, you sound like some sort of pushover. No job for you. They didn't call back. I'm just happy to get in the first round of call interviews. But now if we have this certification, this sweet Securities Industries Essentials, like this is what they were saying they would then train me for after hiring me on, which sounds weird. You would pick up people without experience and then train them rather than pick up trained people and give them experience, but what do I know? Because the treasury stock is the stuff that they buy back, because stock buybacks exist. In which the following products adverse impact of giving people an opportunity to get training does sound great. It sounds good in theory. I'm down for it. Which of the following products adversely affected the creating? It's the exchange traded notes. The notes go down if you don't have a credit rating to back them up. Shoot. And yeah. Call protection is valuable when the bond prices are rising. So taking this test and passing is what gets you certification. I mean, this is the practice test. The real test, I have to go get proctored. I think I'm still able to do it online. But the real one is what gets you the proper certification. That's all in the money, the call options, you just get cash back. Which is weird. And policies protect the securities. Non-public information. Zoop. And which of the following situations is an employee of a public company permitted to trade upon information if someone else tells you, God save the Queen, missed. So the stability and the value of the debt portfolio is greatest when if the maturities of the debt securities are short. And if a registered representative wants to partake in a private securities transaction, which of the following actions must the registered representative take? They send a written notice to their supervisor outlining the activity and compensation structure. The UTMA accounts are registered under the tax ID of the minor. That's a good ankle crack. And then the redemption value of an open-ended investment company shares is based on the net asset value computed after the order is received. I do need to. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Yeah. Which of the following statements is true about all U.S. government agency issues? They actually don't. I feel like they're definitely not exempt from federal taxes. Number 63, yeet. 63.75. We're almost there. They're not exempt from registration under the Securities Act of 1933. So I feel like the Securities Act of 1933 was specifically for U.S. government agency issues. Are they issued in bearer form only, or are they a general obligation for federal government? I feel like they're not just bearer form only, like they have to have something behind them. They're just general obligations of the federal government? 64.75. So which of the following investments are generally traded according to their average life? It's the asset-backed securities. They have assets attached to them. I'm gonna head out, get that dank knowledge, for even more focus for the exam. Alright, get that food missed. We'll be here. Actually, run through our answers on this one. At least for 63, but I feel like we know the rest of them pretty well. Tenants in common. That's a will thing. Switch to the following considerations. Should a registered representative explain to a customer recommending? Shoot. It's you take out the state taxes. And then they'll take all 1,000 because they said no minimum and they didn't go over the maximum. Interest on treasury notes is paid semi-annually. A firm is a participant in a public offering to sell a substantial amount of securities to the customer. Says, haha, we'll just buy them all back. That's fraudulent and manipulative. And So you have a fixed amount of base currency to purchase a counter currency, which is following factors primarily used to determine that spot exchange rate. And then, shoot, so 38 is going to be your break even. If it's a reverse stock split, if it's a reverse stock split, you're going to end up, shoot, 50 shares with $100 per share. Right? If they start out with 100 shares, yeah, you just smash it together. Shoot. It's the qualified distributions are excluded from the federal income tax. The registered representative who wants to place a mutual fund advertisement must obtain written approval from the registered principal of the registered DRR's firm. And then, which the following actions required by a firm receives cash in excess of 10K, like currency transaction report. Cool. So you're pretty sure about most of it. I thought treasury bonds were skip day. Treasury, is it notes that are the next day? Bonds are next day, then notes are the day after? Yeah. And they're exempt. Weird. But that's that. Now to find someone to read. Do we even read? It's just me and Mist. I don't know if we do read. Oh, and Blackfire's here, let's read. We'll raid Blackfire out of here and Mist for those sweet, sweet tithings. So let's find dang, Rocket Mortgage. Let's use that raid finder. Search. Which ones though, please?
There's only one original stuffed crust, and it's only from Pizza Hut. The only place that gives you up to 3 toppings of the original stuffed crust for just $11.99. Order yours online at pizzahut.com.
I don't want to study. Good loot. I don't want to study either. I don't want to study, so let's go raid Soldier Boy. So I did this twice now. We have an idea of what we're doing. So let's go see what Soldier Boy's doing. And all I needed was some sleep. Excellent. I'm glad you were able to get that proper rest. I'm glad you were able to relax and get back to it, because I know now I can understand everything you say. Excellent. That's a boon. You're just drifting in and out of consciousness. That's... I have no knowledge of what to do in that situation. If I can't communicate with you, I can't exactly reassure you. We're just like, oh, that's not great. I suppose we could crack open that live action transcription. Then we're transcribing in addition to just speaking. Like, well, that's how it be. I don't know. The session kind of dragged down a little bit because we bored Boat to sleep. The boat's over across the pond in the I want to say UK. I'll not make a face reveal. I wouldn't recommend it. Face is, You've revealed your face before, though. We've seen those pictures of you at the Christmas party. Also, we're gonna read. Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. In Baker's Discord a while ago. Yeah, you did.